Hello guys, what's going on? This is Negacious, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We are on to Act 3 on the final route of the game, on Lily's route. And it makes me sad because, come on, this game has been so good. I don't want it to end in I don't know, another 10 episodes or so? Maybe? Come on, dude. We still haven't played Misha's route. Okay, never mind. If there only would be a Misha route, and a Nurse route, and a Muto route and everything. I don't know. Anyways, in the last episode, Lily and Akira left back to Scotland for various reasons. One of Lily's, I believe, aunts was sick, severely ill, and the other is that Akira had, their father called them back there to do some business things, some business inquiries, and work with his business over there. Apparently, through which Akira works as well. So that left us back in Japan with Hideaki and Hanako and all the others around us. So let's get going. I rest my chin on my hand as I absent-mindedly look out the window, yet another of Muto's lectures droning on and on as if it were endless. The summer sky is almost alluring in its bright cerulean splendor. Only the odd passing cloud breaks up the deep blue expanse. This feeling of longing is probably the outdoor side of me yearning to escape. Nakai, could you answer this? That side of me is lost to the past now, though. In that case, I think it would use the ani suffix. Correct. Moving on. The suffix for... As my attention towards Muto slips once again, I spot Misha giving me an enthusiastic thumbs up, and nod at her to settle her down. Wait, where would you use the ane suffix anyways? Yeah. Yeah. Dash ane. Is that referring to English or to Japanese? Like Japanese in Roman letters. I don't know. It's been a handful of days since Lily left for Scotland, days which have passed relatively peacefully. Life largely continued as usual, in contrast to what I'd expected. While thoughts of her have danced around on the edge of my mind since she left, present events managed to subdue them, at least for the time being. So, I find myself idly chatting with Hanako, as usual when lunchtime finally rolls by. The later ones in the series good as well. Not really. You're probably best off just sticking to the original. His later books didn't live up to it, or other than maybe God Emperor. Thanks. I wasn't really sure if... And Hanako goes to shock ah! As Hanako steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typically businesslike manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune, Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and curtly returns the gesture to both of us. It's been a long while since I've really talked to either of them. For a while I thought they might be avoiding me, but I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning! Shichan says that Moto wants to see you sometime! Because of this statement, my face contorts as if I'd just eaten spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. Anyone think you were in trouble, Hichan? You may not be aware of it, but you have the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence. Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. There was something I wanted to ask you, though.
And what might that be, Hichan?
I have a feeling this won't go over well, but here goes. Is there any reason why you and Lily don't get along? It seems like even a little civility would help you both in your duties. Yep, there it is. Shizune's cold stare after Misha happily signs the words stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sure I see Hanako move back. Just a little. Thankfully, Shizune notices this and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune's arms begin to move.
I would say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you seem to have befriended Lily.
She pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner.
While I assume the same of her, I cannot call my own views on the matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were closer than before than we are now.
Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interpreting, then has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily yet so secretly right in front of us is slightly disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with thinly masked interest. As they finish their opaque conversation, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matter wasn't followed.
Shichan says you should ask Lily about it, as she doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved.
Oh well, I'll just have to ask her after she gets back. At least I got some information out of Shizune. The two having been on close terms means that they weren't always at each other's throats, or at least not quite to this extent. I understand, thanks anyway. With a nod and farewell, the two break away and walk out the door, no doubt headed straight for the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose? Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. I can't say I blame her.
I'll see you later then.
Yeah, I'll meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins the trickle of students leaving the classroom. Hanako is so much braver in this route than she was in Lily's. I really like that. I also like how Hanako is really strongly integrated to this route, because Lily is away, so we have a strong side character, well, strong in quotes, in her own way, like a side character to keep us company and keep the story kind of consistent. Because if Lily had left, and Hanako would have been what she was like in the early stage, like around this time of her own route, it wouldn't have made like that good of a support character. But I suppose that now that Hanako is kinda neutral to us, she's coping with it better. And here comes Muto. Nakai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner, he apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Eventually, I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face before giving an awkward, a rather obviously acted chuckle. No need to feel guilty, you're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something I've asked a few other students so far. That's something at least. For a moment, I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So, what did you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think of the progress in this class so far? Good, bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I try to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the tests than I thought I would. That's a good answer, a correct one too. I give a mental sigh of relief at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind after learning that I'd be transferred to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What you'd like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. I suppose the last year of high school is the time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I really haven't lent it much thought compared to my immediate situation. Catching on to my thinking, Muto speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided after all. Maybe pursue one of your talents. He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. At a guess, our grades in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens, no doubt pleased at the thought of a prized student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you think on it, though. I will. Things are kind of settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, I've noticed that Ikezawa's attendance and grades have improved since you came to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. Nice. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gives a chuckle as awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful but misdirected choreography. You could say I'm having a general idea of who knows whom is the part of the teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes off on a tangent, he loudly coughs into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do though, so I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, as you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will, thanks. The brief talk ended, I take my leave. He goes back to fussing with the teacher's teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lily, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. It's an idea so utterly It's an idea so utterly irreconcilable. There we go. Jesus. Irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in the present day just as they've always been. Okay, that was only 15 minutes, so we're gonna keep going. Walking through the lobby to the cafeteria, I silently review my daily routine, having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day. I arrived in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. Hanako didn't show up? I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take a seat. It's a task made more difficult by the groups of students moving about and busily talking. Gah! A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times. severely winding me. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focused my thoughts on my chest in a near automatic reaction. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steadily in and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. Kenji? We need to talk. Hey man, are you okay? God damn it, don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing, mainstream, feminist, fascist media. That was a doozy. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what have you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Sato and that other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class, and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it? Not even when you're bored? Really? Well, Fine. Point taken. Both of us stopped to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to that question you asked a couple of weeks back, where Lily's non-Japanese half comes from, that is. Good man, it's Russia, right? Totally Russia. Scotland. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland? Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilating. Passing out for a little while would probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. Huh. Humor him or ignore his insane ramblings. Huh. You see, this is another one of those choices that at first when you look at it, it doesn't you would think that it doesn't affect how the rest of the route is gonna go, like in a severe manner, like severely. But we are on Act 3, and the choices start to get pretty serious, despite of the fact that it's Kenji, and we should consider whether we should listen to him or not. So I'm scared that this choice will affect the outcome of the route. like in a major manner. But for once, even though it might be a waste of time, I kind of want to hear what he has to say, so we're gonna humor him. Humor him. I have no idea what it means. Enlighten me. I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen. Damn, this is the worst day ever. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality. One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So, what did he think? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decide to get to the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner this experience will be over. So, as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains. That's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains. Scotland's a beautiful place. I've never been there, but I would love to visit Scotland. Just like a to kind of see the nature around it and like the Stonehenge and everything. And men in kilts. That too. I'm not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that he'd notice, or care. It's not that bad. Why do you have to care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. He gives a malevolent chuckle. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found a chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out his rambling for a moment and finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirmed that Lily's in the Mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No, damn man, I do have some sense of self-preservation. But not dignity, or morals, or social standings. Anyways, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit. It's Akira, dude. A man in a pinstripe suit waves her in. The two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... Oh, I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess. This man was about average height, had a slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. It seems that you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically that it looks comical. I can't tell whether that's intentional or not, and that fact makes me frown. This has important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them, and we're smart about what to do with this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Once he starts rambling into the conspiracy territory, my juice becomes of much more importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. Oh, Nakai. I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of the worksheets we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikazawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discarded the idea though, as it's hard to think of him acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Nocturne. Walking up the hallway to the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that this is something more? That said, she may not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lily left, and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I've suspected she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually, I come to Hanako's dormitory room. It's simple brown door separating us. Her room's position next to Lily is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is taken briefly off guard by my presence.
Hi.
Oh, fuck. My first question is, why is there a choice here? Two choices. First with Kenji, and now in quick succession, a question about Hanako. This is worrying me. I don't see any harm if we ask about Hanako. I mean, what harm could there possibly be? Like, we just explained the situation like she wasn't in school today, so let's ask about Hanako. Actually, this may be a rather fortuitous meeting. Hey, excuse me, do you know if Hanako's come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering.
Ikezawa is Ikezawa. Her not answering the door is completely normal. That tall foreign girl is the only person she'll ever talk to after all.
She gives a shrug before walking off down the hallway, having much more important matters to attend to than Hanako or me. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit, a reputation that doesn't seem outright undeserved, at least in the time before we'd met. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Muto said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I can hear the handle rattling. Huh. I actually thought that she'd be in the library, but I guess not. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made so much more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little.
I'm fine.
Okay. Something's up with her. And I'm afraid that we're gonna have like a little confrontation with her. Please no, I don't want to see Hanako's bad end again. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. Bum bum bum. That's kind of a cliffhanger, actually, because I really want to know what's up with her. Oh, fuck, no. No! I fucking knew it, we're gonna have... No! Should I continue? I think I'll have to continue, because... Fuck. I can't leave it here. I'm fucking curious myself. Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door after another of her unexplained absences from class. Let's see if I'm any better from during that confrontation in Hanako's route. Dots. Dots. Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower, I decide to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll go get the nurse for you. Just leave me, Hisao, please. That's how it worked out on Hanako's route as well.
Go away.
What? It's hard to tell whether her tone's one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her, if she doesn't even want help? No, no, please, no, God, no! The message is clear enough. I can't just leave her like this, though. Just sitting in her room for days on end. Yes, you can! Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationality is what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make matters worse. Thank you. Please stick to that stigma. Or that stigmata. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk, looking for where I put that damn piece of paper. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. Now that I need it, though, the damn thing is... here. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. The fact that the phone rings at all shows that I've got the prefix for a call to Scotland right, at least. I've never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. Eventually the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother.
Sato.
English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. As I said in Hanako's route, Scots are fucking hard to understand, man. I didn't pass my C1 English test because of or I failed to like get a stigmata of C1 in English because I couldn't understand the fucking Scottish accent, dude. I soldier on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Hisao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense.
Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct?
Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Mrs. Sato.
It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily dear, it's for you.
That's so racist. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully just for getting up.
Hello, Lily speaking.
You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. I'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well?
Just tired. What time is it there?
Late afternoon. School's finished for the day not long ago. You're really not a morning person, are you?
I don't need you making fun of it as well.
It takes me a measure of restraint not to laugh at her pained groan. Poor girl. How are you doing over there, bar the mornings?
It's been enjoyable. After not meeting them for so long, just having a meal together with my parents is nice. Though the pool at the sheer size of the house might have something to do with that as well.
Even if they're not in Japan, from the way it sounds, her family must be pretty wealthy to live so luxuriously.
Are things alright with you and Hanako?
Damn, I was hoping that wouldn't be brought up quite so quickly. I take a moment to try and sort out exactly how to describe the situation without causing her undue worry, but she picks up on that without a word being said.
Hanako is not well, is she?
How do you know?
Because today is her birthday. I'd hoped she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but how is she right now?
She missed school yesterday and seemed out of sorts when I checked up on her. Today she missed school again and just told me to go away. I'm having such a fucking bad deja vu from this, holy hell. Because I went to the bad end twice from this exact scene in Hanako's route. I've really got no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way?
Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths.
What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may as well be rueing that she was never born. The fact that Lily seems so in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident?
As close as we've come, she's barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture.
She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I can't really fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through...
I know. Thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry I cannot be more help to you.
It's fine. Just give it some more thought. Thanks, and have a good time in Scotland.
It's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Hanako.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
And with that, the line goes silent. At least there wasn't a choice of agreeing or disagreeing with Lily. But I'm still afraid that something will happen, or that there will be a choice that kind of fucks everything up. Those two choices earlier in this route confused the hell out of me. Amid the seemingly only increased number of questions I can't answer, the most immediate is what Lily was going to say. Oh no. I'm an idiot. She must have thought I was calling to talk with her, but I only asked to help with Hanako. Even more shameful than that thought is the fact that such an appraisal would be largely correct. Well, first things first. For now, I need to at least sort out Hanako and make sure that she's actually eating okay. The occasional passing students give badly hidden glances at the plate of food I carry to the female dormitories. It's hardly a meal to be proud of, only being an instant microwave meal from the convenience store, but it should at least fill her up. Eventually, I arrive outside of her room, after having to ward off a couple of girls who jokingly tried to pilfer the food I'd taken so long to procure. I decide to forego knocking, since it was proven to be an utterly useless measure, and it's somewhat difficult to do with my hands full. Hanako, it's Hisao. I know you're listening. I got some food for you. Silence, as I expected. I'll leave it beside your door. Please, at least eat it, okay? There, I've said my piece. Now it's up to her. Putting the plate down, I walk back to my own room to eat my dinner. This is fucking... this is so tense. I'm so scared that we're gonna... that something's gonna happen with Hanako again. Fuck. By the time I return to Hanako's dormitory, a good hour's passed. Thankfully, there isn't anything to be seen beside her door. I walk back at least somewhat happier that she's eating. If she intends to get through this by herself, then being able to help, even if it's just in such a small way, is at least something. Perfect. That's the perfect spot to end the episode. Okay. That's where we are going to drop off this episode of Katawa Shoujo. I'm still scared that something will happen with Hanako, and it'll affect the route to go towards a bad end somehow. Anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to drop a comment down below. Whether it's casual banter or just constructive criticism, I'll make sure to read it all and answer to it all. You may also show your appreciation of the video, whether you liked it or not, by using the like and or dislike buttons just below the video. You may also subscribe and click the bell button next to the subscribe button to make sure to get my videos into your sub box the moment they come online. My name is Negacious, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.